What's up, everybody? How you been? How you been? Tell a friend, tell a friend. We back at it. Y'all hold it down. Hold it down. Hold it down. Relax. Dang. Y'all like ain't never seen good people, good looking people up here. I'm joking with you. Going back one more time for me. All right. You're slow. That's all right. All right. As y'all know, right here today. Today is the showcase, and we got none other than the CEO of Woodboy Digital, aka Mr. Make It Happen, aka Mr. Put It on His Back and Carry the Team, Mr. Get It High by any means. Tell him who you'll be, my boy.
For sure. It's the mutate God, man. My mother gave me the name Mario McCall. What my mama called me, but the streets call me mutate God or they call me 3D Straw. Y'all pick one.
Hey, you heard what he said. You know how it is. Once again, it's the showcase. And on top of that, partner with MODEYO. So we gonna get into it because first things first, we gotta let the crowd know, man, how you been, where you been, and what's been going on with you.
I've been good, man. Health is getting better. Been working out, trying to lose some weight, all that kind of stuff. Trying to prolong my years. I ain't getting no younger. So, trying to be here and, also cleansing my mental, what I mean, making sure it's steady, making sure, my financial literacy game is on point and things like that. So I can grow a lot of these institutions that we're trying to grow right now, that we are growing right now, between, Woolboy Digital, the whole, thing, and the Modeo Media Company, stuff like that. But I'm beautiful, man. Kids straight, everybody good, man.
That boy is good.
Most definitely. See, and that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing to just hear the positivity and especially when it comes to like you said financial literacy, from health, all that things. It just seems like it's a progression motion, and we're and I say that because where we're about to get into for the people that's going to be watching, where we're about to get into is the story of progression. Like it's never personal when it comes to progression. You either got it in you or you don't. So first things first, let's start at the beginning. What made you want to take on a business like the one that you're growing now? What made you want to take on, Woodboy Digital? What made you want to create Woodboy Digital?
Well, from the beginning of the beginnings, I started out in around 1999. A lot of my friends, we started rapping and doing all that, and I wasn't really rapping as much, but I would play around with it. But I seen the business potential in it. So during that time in Rayford, North Carolina, we put together an album. And the name of the group was Dark Waters. Just to give you some take back, you know what I'm saying?
I'm here for
And
it.
then after that, I seen, because I was signed to an independent company that I feel was doing the right things from the people I grew up looking up to and stuff like that. So I just got away from that and started my own, and my group was with that. So I said, let me start my own. And at that time, it was named Trife City Records at that time. And I signed a bunch of artists and worked with a bunch of artists from Rayford. They was younger than me. They was like, after I had graduated, it was all in high school. I wanted young people because I knew they could carry a movement. And throughout time, I learned that a lot of people don't really, even at that young age that I was at, I learned that people don't see the vision that you see. I went through a lot of different mental changes. As a young man, I was changing myself. And I was like, kind of, dealing with a lot of people that was younger than me that, maybe didn't have fathers in the home and stuff like that. So they kind of looked up to me. And at that time, being young, I didn't understand that part till like I got grown later on in my 30s, that I look back at some of the brothers and they'll tell me about what they felt about me. And, as men, we don't tell what we feel a lot. So until it's like too late sometimes. So, even going back to the den, I produced a lot of young acts, produced a lot of people. And, the technological boom was switching during that time because it went from people selling CDs out the trunk to MP3s at the time. All these things happened rapidly, and I had to live through it. I went from learning the CD out the trunk gang, like the Masterpiece, the Rap a Lot records, stuff like that, to fastly getting into a era of, you know, the Soldier Boy era where everything was being downloaded, and then rapidly going to like when Wayne
Legally
was
and illegally.
right, exactly. And it went from that era to Lil Wayne dropping on Dat Piff and all that free tapes and stuff to everybody wanted digital distribution till all the way up to recently streaming. So once I went through all those transitions, um it was tough to be able to come, especially from an unmarketed area like North Carolina as the state at the time. Because I seen the come up of North Carolina too while I was coming up. You know what I mean? But what made me want to do it is it's just to bring young brothers in as community to be able to keep them out the streets and let them try to fulfill their dream. And maybe if I could have facilitated that, that's what my goal was at the time.
Okay. I'm glad you mentioned two key components that I really want to speak on, because when it comes to progression, you got to have two things. You got to have a drive and you got to have a destination. But what people, before you even get a drive or a destination, you have to understand that there's a difference between a vision and a dream.
Right.
You feel like I feel like there's a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure you can vouch for this. There's a lot of people when they start independently or when they're starting to build something from the ground up, they have dreams of doing it. It's not a vision, it's a dream. And it's like no, you don't dream about it. Make it, treat it as a vision. Like, this is what you see is what you're going to get.
You're right. Like what I say now, man, I'm like, I tell everybody I went from a boy to a man to a king to a god. You see what I'm saying? And the way I say that, because like, I went from manifestation to embodiment, because embodiment is the byproduct of manifestation. So once you start living it within you, you become what it is, as opposed to attracting it. That's what manifestation is. So now I've went through a recent mutation of embodiment. So that's something that if you're talking to other people, tell them to start embodying it, because manifestation has been the popular subject in the last few. It's been a popular subject forever, but now here recently, it's been a very popular subject in the last 5 to 10 years. People want to manifest, manifest, manifest. Okay, once you manifest it and it gets to you, what are you going to do? Are you going to embrace it? Or are you going to embody it? So that's what I'm on now, and the embodiment of whatever you want out of life. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely can relate. And with it, okay, so now since we're speaking on embodying it and manifestation and all those things, we have to talk about the process.
Right.
The process and the progression. Let's talk about process and progression.
Yeah.
So with the way that you have been manifesting and embodying, this, I'm not gonna say new, because it's not new, your true self. Let me put it like that. True self.
Right.
How has the progression story been for you?
It's been a lot of heartache, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a lot of disappointment. It's been a lot of pain. And that's just in the mental space, because everything physically has been fine, but the mental space has been on a journey where it's like, you find out a lot of things about yourself when people whisper about it. And, with that being said, I've started to listen to the whispers. And I was a person, sometimes I would be so far up in the clouds, I wouldn't hear the whispering. But now I'm starting to listen to the whispering. And it's been a difficult transition to be able to hear those things. But because I'm a master mutator, and I am, it takes a moment mentality to mutate on the marathon. Or, shout out to, Nipsey, rest in peace to Kobe and Nipsey. It's like I've learned myself all over again, and I've learned myself in a better way. I've been better in my personal relationships and things like that. And becoming understanding of what the vision of other people that have for you. And I'm not regarding that no more. I'm disregarding that no more. I used to be kind of like I guess you could say how would I say, maybe a narcissist. I don't know. But I don't think I was just a bad narcissist. But at the same time, I do think I only reason that I was like that because I always try to protect my peace. And that sometimes comes off as maybe an arrogance of some sort. But it was only because, things have happened to where like, you make yourself vulnerable to people. As men we go through, they make yourself vulnerable to people and they might shit on you or, whatever like that. So then you gotta become a recluse and tuck back in. So I have learned at the time to do that all the time. I protect my peace. But now my peace is so genuine. Really nobody can too much fade it at all, even whatever they do. Because I've learned to listen to the whispers. Yeah.
Those are some strong words indeed. And to hear about the whispers and like you said, your head in the clouds. I've been there for myself, just talking for myself actually. It's been one of them things where, my name has been in rooms that I've never put a foot in,
Right.
And it's like and when it steps into a room, whenever my name is mentioned in a room, there's some people who frown their face up and they ain't even talk to me. You frown your face up at my name and they ain't even talk to me. Or but when you see me, you want to give me a handshake or you want to, things of that nature. And it's like, when you're genuine, and this the kicker of it all, when you're a genuine person, stuff like that doesn't bother you because it's like that's your peace. My peace is not disrupted. Your peace is disrupted. So
right. I've learned.
Yeah,
I've learned that a lot of times, especially when people are like how me and you are, and they're building empires. I come to find out that a lot of people that, for lack of better words, hate on you or whatever you want to call it these days, they really admire you. They just want you to admire them, and they can't get that from you. You see what I'm saying? So they resort to more evil things to get your attention. So with that being said, I've just started to maybe give a few more flowers, not many, because I feel like if someone disrespects you, and even in a metaphysical way, if they disrespect you, they should be more genuine as well. But I started giving people a little more flowers because I don't know everyone's background and I don't know how they was raised. Even as a grown man, 30, 40 years old, no matter what it is, I still don't know what your origin story is and why you are like you are. So I have to give grace to those things. And that's what I've learned to do better.
I can trust me. I get it, and it's crazy that you are saying that because the mantra that I've been practicing myself is give grace before grief, because I don't, like you said, I don't know your backstory. You could just be having a bad day. You could be a good person having a bad day. The same way somebody could be a bad person having a good day. It goes hand in hand. But when we're talking about the vision and progression and the manifestation of those visions and progressing towards what we're trying to manifest, we have to stop. Sometimes we forget to stop and take what's the word I'm looking for? What is it? I don't want to take inventory. We got to take mental inventory along the way and assess our steps in a very, very intricate manner that people don't tend to understand. And I think that's what really I'm not going to say pushes the anvil for most people who want to build an empire, but it's like, do you want to build an empire fast and it's going to go fast, or do you want to build an empire intricately, brick by brick, understand why this brick is here, and it's going to stand the test of time?
Well, you know what they say. If you go fast, it don't last. If you go slow, it's a go. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna go. You know what I mean? So
all day long. So you mentioned that you were looking to expand on certain things, and one of the things that I do want to talk about, I actually have a picture right here of it. How has the expansion been for? Sorry about that. How have the expansion been for this for your media show?
well, the media Modeyo's is about to grow to a full launch. As far as like we're gonna launch a full blown radio station, because MODEYO is going to be the premium network in the Carolinas and now I know especially of the Carolinas and expand beyond throughout the South and throughout the world. The magazine is going to go into full print. Everything launches in January. So, of course, me, you, and Big Mike, we got a lot of work to do between now and then. You know what I'm saying?
Don't we?
But it's going to be a beautiful thing. It's the thing that's needed now for not only independent artists, but all types of entrepreneurs and things like that. We never had a serious media hub in our area of North Carolina, and maybe not even in North Carolina as a whole that would sustain the sustainability into that space and really grind it tooth and nail. So this is going to be the entity that does that as far as MODEYO is concerned. Yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful thing. We're gonna have the YouTube channel with all the podcasts. I have a couple of announcements to make, but I can't make it right now till after me and you meet. That we're gonna be producing some very, very great podcasts from Atlanta, and it's gonna be a great opportunity for all of us. And I'm thankful for the brother. We'll get him an interview on here as soon as that time comes, But yeah, we did a big partnership, so it's about to be crazy.
Okay. Yeah. So we're talking about taking those steps and future steps and things of that nature. But let's talk about the steps that you've already taken and the mental tolls that came with them. So could you elaborate on exactly those steps that were, because some steps are harder than others, So with your hard steps, what exactly were they and how did they, and what made them so tough for you?
Well, as far as in MODEYO or just overall?
We can do both. Like you said, we we talk. Hey,
yeah. He is dealing with impatient people. That goes from artists in Woodboy Digital to certain partnerships that we have had acquired before. It's the patience, and I always tell people you got to be patient because, like, if you're not patient, especially when you're building like an empire, you won't. Well, I will say this: it may not be meant for those people to be there because everybody can't go. And everybody didn't see what Walt Disney wanted. You know what I'm saying? They didn't believe in him. They didn't believe in Steve Jobs. They think Kanye's crazy. They think all these things, but nobody absolutely knows what any of these people go through as billionaires and what they had to go through to build their infrastructure and everything like that. And I'm seeing how with the different tiers of the things that I'm building, because I've come to realize, even though I'm partnered with a lot of people and I want people to be inside of this with me, it's my matrix. You know what I'm saying? It's my playground that I'm creating out of my head, and I can only ask for assistance from people who may have other things to think about. And it's just the patience though, bro. Like for real. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people not patient enough to reach $1 million or even 500,000. You know what I'm saying? So I can't help an artist or anybody believe the dream and let them know that the dream is them. You know what I mean? I can't do that. That's on them to believe. Because if one thing about, especially when on the artist side, it's easy to get distracted by other things that look greater, but don't mean nothing to you, that it won't help you in the further after everything is, coming to the finalization of. They think it looks better while you're building. They say, I'm gonna go do this, or I'm gonna do it on my own. You can't build a business on your own. Nobody has built a business or anything they ever dreamed of on their own. If you don't know how to delegate things to people, it'll be a problem. I mean, thank God for AI because you can delegate some things simulation wise now a little bit more, but you still need able bodies. You know what I mean? And that's the part that artists and some people don't look at. They have to learn to be patient and wait for them to shine. Everybody wants to shine now and don't want to be patient for when their shine is come, because I'm the type of person with an artist, I might be setting up a bunch of chess pieces for you. So when we get to that side, we're gonna knock all this down. And we won't gotta do the tit for tat. I'm just building because I gotta go out here and kill all the food so the family can go eat. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they don't want to wait for you to kill the food. They get too hungry. They don't want to eat the small things. So it is what it is. That's why I salute it's my brother now, you know what I'm saying? Payola. Payola's 10 toes down. And that's why Payola's gonna be a millionaire. You see what I'm saying? Because he understands from what I told him when I first put him down with the team. And I said, you gotta be patient, bro. And I ask him all the time, I said, man, I said, you patient for real? I said, what got you so patient? He almost said, prison. I was like, I said, I get it, bro. That's my guy though. Shout out to Payola Stacks, man. You got some new stuff on the way too. And we about to do a full-blown regional campaign for him for the 2026. So yeah.
Word. Shout out to Payola Stacks, man. Hey, look, if I can get you up here, come on up here. We can elaborate on some of the projects you got going on. And but we'll get to Payola when he come around. As for you,
oh yeah, sure.
As for you, when you mentioned that people aren't patient,
yeah,
what do you think are the key factors behind them not being patient? Because you were like, that they want it now, they want to shine, and I get that. That's everybody's dream, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. But do you think that it's possible to dream without a vision? Because if they're dreaming without a vision, then that means that they're expecting instant gratification. So what do you think are some of the key factors behind them not being patient? Like, is it because they don't believe the process, or is it because they just don't respect the progression? Because I'm gonna keep throughout the interview, I'm gonna keep asking about progression and all that things, because we really got to drive it home that if you are building something, it takes progression, but it takes patience.
Right.
It takes.
I think it's a little bit of all. I think at some point they expect too much because they're looking at social media and things, so that speeds your minds up, and you think things are supposed to go a certain kind of way, and not knowing the people that they're watching already went through this, what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's a little bit of people that always in their ear, not wondering, not knowing why you won't do this, why you ain't coming out, why you ain't, all these why you ain'ts, and it pressures people to move away from their dream. Now, as far as vision, I look at things like this. You can definitely, like you said, you can dream without a vision. But when you align yourself with someone like me, you have your vision. I am the visionary. So then you can just dream freely and you don't have to worry about anything. But just creating to yourself, creating whatever you want to create. And you don't have to rely on me for everything, because I try to make everything as comfortable as possible. And I pretty much lay stuff down straight. Once you've been in my meetings before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I pretty much lay things down straight, and I let you know that it's not going to be perfect all the time. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's going to be waiting time. It's going to be this, that, and the other. But when it comes, oh boy, it's going to be here. You know what I mean? Because I've done seen it several times throughout my career before. And, but yeah, a lot of people dream without a vision. But when you align yourself with a vision, especially a person like me, which I'm a futurist, you have visions that are 30 years beyond you. So you don't have to worry about that. But I digress. They have to listen to the devil on the shoulder or whatever that's in their ear. And also, some people don't believe in the process because it doesn't look like what they think it should look like. But this is what they got to realize, is everybody's process is not the same process you've seen your favorite artist do or your favorite business do. This is our process if it's an hour, or it's my process if it's a mine. You see what I'm saying? I
do, and that's one thing that really gets me and we're going to talk about it more after the commercial, but this is just something, just to ponder over, is the fact that we have artists who want to just jump out here and become instantly famous, or it wants to instantly start touching millions. And it's like, you can get all the tools. You have all the tools to succeed. But if you do not use those tools correctly, there's no way possible you're going to succeed. And I feel like a lot of people underestimate how important it is to have the proper tools. In other words, somebody in your corner telling you, look, take your time. Look, this is going to be a process. Look, we're making progression. Don't give up. They would rather just go ahead. How would I put this? Sometimes you need a monkey wrench more than you need a drill. You know what I mean? Like, like you have more appreciation for it. But we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to talk about the successful things that took you a while to get done, but we made it. You know what I mean?
We made it. Sure.
Let's get it. All right. So we're back, everybody. We're back. Once again, we are with the Mutate God himself, blessing us with these good old manifestos of how to create an empire from the ground up, and understand that the key tools of it is progression. It's also having a vision. It's a little bit of a dream, but most of all, it's what you put into it. So let's get back into it. Before we went to commercial, we were talking about the grinding part of things, but let's take this time to reflect back. Tell me about not just me, but tell everybody else as well. Tell me about how you have overcame some of the adversities that's made you the man that you are today. Because you told me that you came from, a child to a man, man to a king, king to a god. But how did the God, how did the boy become the man? How did the man become the king? And how did the king become the God?
Well, it was like I said, it was through a lot of like learning. The boy became a man because whenever I had my first son, I understood my assignment on Earth. You see what I'm saying? Right. And I had to make sure that whatever he does, he understands what he's going to have to do, not the facade, but the reality. And and dealing with even that situation was more so a headache, not with him, but it was a headache within the structure of that. So by me raising him and him seeing me go through different things, he's able to, the things that he may go through now that he's 19 years old, he can kind of understand it. He talks to me all the time. He's in college, and he understands his position now because he's seen me weather the storm. So he kind of made the boy turn into the man. The man turned into a king when I knew the power of my conversation and how I was able to communicate with people to where it was understood and it motivated people to be able to achieve their dreams and achieve whatever they want to try to do, even if it was just a thought in their head. They might have not even did it, but I learned, that I was good at making people feel great. You know what I'm saying? Like with conversation. So that meant to me that I can, I can rule things. I can, in a positive way, I can rule things. I can use my words well. I have a great gift of gab. So it's like I knew that I could control a lot of things, and that's what turned me to a king, because a king can control things, and only a good king can control things in a positive manner. And then what like I said, what turned me to the God is the fact that I've learned that my human vessel isn't the all in. It's who I am and who I've always been within what's driving this skin I'm in. You know what I'm saying? What having out of body experiences and being able to embody things, and even getting married and empowering my wife to be her greatest self. 'Cause she's a wonderful, wonderful human being. She's dealt with a lot, with her mom passing and different things like that. And it's a lot of things, but she's had to deal with a lot. But I've seen her be strong. And I remember when I first, dated her, it was a totally different person versus now. And I used to always give her game and stuff. Of course, being a man, sometimes that game backfire and they use it on you. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
What?
But it's great that she learned. She's the ultimate hustler, and being able to be the king of my castle, and but it's better to be the god of all the spirits that I've created. You see what I'm saying? So that's the moral of that.
Okay. So I'm glad I'm glad that you gave us an in-depth look into how you perceive things and how you have brought them to light to make it your own reality. So for your business standpoint, from a business standpoint now, where if we had to personify your business standpoint, where do you feel like your business is? Is your business the man? Do you feel like your business is the man that became a king? Do you feel like it's in his I know we know it's not in this boy era. Is it in era, king era, or God era?
It's in the king era, and it's about to transition to the God era.
Talk it.
Which means for me, I had to turn God first in order for the business around me to be able to become that of what everybody knows to be the multi-million-dollar companies that they look up to. And me, Uncle Chuck, we've been studying a lot, and we got the game mastered, bro. Like, we done figured some stuff out. Like, man, the world's in trouble, or they're in a great space. I would say that, but Woodboy Digital Innovations umbrella, as far as like, man, it's about to be insane, bro. For real.
Okay. I can rock with that, and I can honestly say it. You don't sound like this is a dream for you. It don't even sound like this is a vision for you. It sounds like this is the mission. Like this is the make or break. This the big leagues. And
Final showdown. It's going down.
Yeah, and I don't think people truly know that understanding that this is the final showdown. Anybody can go out there and play basketball, but only a few can make it to the championships, and they can only be the champion. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And that's go ahead.
I've just learned to, for one, never gatekeep, and I've learned to, just teach a lot more, because in our area, we're deprived of a lot of information. So I started like learning how to teach more, and I even like I teach people how to make. That's why I wrote the book, how to make $1 million off the rap game, and I bundled that with my Mutate motivational book as well. You know what I'm saying? It's the ebook that I wrote. I was writing it 3 years ago, but I put the mindset book with the money book, and that's my give back to the people, because sometimes people don't want to listen to you, but they will listen to you if they can do it secretly. So I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? As long as I'm helping people, like that. So yeah.
This game is free, man. This game is free. If only thing I require is your time to listen to it.
That's right.
And I don't even think people like. It's funny how you want to do what I do, but you don't want to ask me how I do it.
Right.
How does that work?
Or even further, especially with artists, if you want to be even just a little bit more successful, it doesn't have to be like if you want to be a statewide hit or you want to be a neighborhood hit, I can easily do that stuff. So sometimes you want to align yourself with the next step. But see, people are always trying to hit home runs instead of base hitters. You know what I'm saying? Base hit is a good hit. You know what I mean? You got on base.
That's it. That's it. The game. It's the object is to win the game. It's not to like. You don't got to try to get a home run. It's not who got the. I mean, it'd be great if everybody hitting the home runs.
Of course.
But you be honest with yourself too. Along this journey, there has to be a lot of honesty within yourself. Like it's so easy to tell other people the honest truth, but it'd be hard as hell sometimes to tell yourself the truth. Like, look,
right,
they're not going to cut it. Look,
right,
this isn't for them. Look,
right.
This is not going to be the way that you thought it's going to be. But if you want it to be, do you want to succeed or do you want to do it your way?
Right.
You know what I mean? And because in order to succeed, certain pieces have to line up. And if you try to do it your way, you're going to try to make a piece that's not supposed to line up. You're going to make it try to line up, and then you're not going to have that succession. So, do you want to succeed or do you want to do it your way? That's been one of my main things in my head, because it's just like going to a job and you're telling the boss, you just got the job. You're telling the boss, I'm not doing this, and this, but you want to move up. You want to move up in the company.
Makes no sense.
You can't do it like that. Like, that might be your way of doing things, but if you want to succeed, you have to do it this way. You have to create it.
Yeah, you have to be able to. You have to be able to leverage the small things, and they end up being the big things.
Right.
A lot of people can't do that. They want to be on the biggest stages. You haven't even did the little mini stages yet. So how can you know you can handle? How can you handle if you can't handle 6 people? How can you handle 60,000?
All day long. All day long, and you never know. And that and it's so crazy because of course, I'm building something, you're building something, we network. It's never no bad blood or anything like that. But I think people tend to forget that how big this world really is. Granted, the opportunities may seem like they're slim, but the world itself is very massive. So you have those opportunities out there. You might just got to go get them, but you got to go somewhere. You got to meet people along the way that's going to take you there.
Right.
I say all this to say because when me and you talk, or if it's anything about business or anything like that, the first thing we do is come to a place of compromise. You've never, and let me state this, I'm gonna state this just for Hood Academy itself. There's never been a time where we talked with you and it was like a strong arm situation. It was like, look, I can't make you see the vision. I can't even make you see the goal. I can't make you believe the dream. But if you want to succeed, I'm going to succeed. You see what I'm saying? Like you laid it out like, look, I'm going to succeed. So if you want to succeed, we can succeed together. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I can't promise you the time or whatever when we cross that road, but look, this is the road to succession, and I feel like when it comes to artists or people of that nature, they want to succeed so much that they're willing to deem anything as successful. I got this many followers. Okay, but you haven't performed a song for these people. So the persona, in order for you to succeed, the persona has to match the person itself, which takes me back to that manifestation of what you said for a God. When you call yourself a God, it's got to be in you. You can't just be up here being a social media god, and then when we put you on the stage, you like, everybody wave your hands.
You meek him out.
like I can sell you a dream. I can sell you a dream on social media, but to actually get out here and make this thing happen, to actually get out here and make this thing work, is going to require more of your time, effort, and energy than you think you're ready to put in. You just got to understand that you can't give up. I can't tell you how much energy. So that's why I was saying, when it came to us in the meeting, you know, you was like, I can't tell you the amount of energy you got to put in. I can't tell
Right.
you the amount of drive you got to have. I'm just saying, this is the road you're going to, this is what it's going to require. And I can't tell you certain pieces of what it's going to require, but just understand that I'm on this road to succession. And I feel like those artists, you know, those artists, or, you know, the people who have come and gone, because on both ends, my ends and yours, if I may speak, you know, we both lost people. We both knew that people were hungry, but we understood that they don't got the same appetite. You know, yeah, you might go to the same restaurant, we might sit at the same table, we might pick up the same menus, but when it comes time for me to put my order in and you put your order in, you're going to end up saying something different. That doesn't mean that we both didn't eat. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that we both wasn't hungry. It's just you had an appetite for something else, and your something else doesn't equate to my something else. And I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying that you're not going to succeed. The only thing I'm saying is, if this is, you know, my road to succession, if it looks appealing to you, order the same thing I got.
Well, bro, I mean? I'm gonna keep it all the way funky though. They're not gonna succeed. They're not, because they don't see the alignment. If you can't recognize what greatness is right in front of your face, then you won't succeed. You know, that's just the way it is. I mean, I know we like to be the you know, positive, and we like to, you know,
keep it 100. Keep it 100.
We like to keep light for their feelings, but they're not gonna fucking succeed. They're not. I've seen it in recent time. I've seen they might succeed as being a great human in life, but they won't succeed at this business we doing. They won't.
So if I may ask, why do you feel so strongly about that?
Because if you can't follow a small leader, should we say, how can you follow yourself? You don't know how to follow. You know what I'm saying? People don't know how to follow and take leadership. So if they don't know how to do that, if their ideas were so great, the people that have gone, then why they didn't do it themselves the first place?
I see you one.
Just keep it in 100. Like most people, man, to be real with you, whenever I haven't seen one person yet who had made a decision to leave the fold of what I got going on and do something greater. Never.
I'm still here. I'm letting you get it off. You know, I'm still here.
I'm just saying. And that's what I mean. Like, I never seen nobody do it before. I've never seen nobody like, they haven't seen it yet. Every time, whenever somebody, you know, they really bounce out or whatever, they end up doing, you know, the local hamster wheel shit. So, you know, that's just the way it is. But I pray for them, and that's good for them. But if you ain't aligned with somebody that's trying to pierce through the universe, then you're just gonna stay in the dirt. You know, everybody like to say they came out and got it from the mud, but you know, they're gonna stay in the mud, getting it from the mud. That's it. They'll never get off Earth, man.
You can only do so much with mud. You know what I mean? You can only do so much with mud. Now,
either you're gonna be mud or you're gonna be quicksand like Moray. You pick the choice. You know what I'm saying? Like one or two. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is.
Okay. I can definitely relate to that. You know, it's always a sad thing to see, because it's like, damn. Like, was there ever a part, like, when you seen I'm gonna say the decline, when you see the decline of what they're, you know, projecting, did you feel disappointed in yourself? Like, I should have seen that earlier, or was it just
no? I never feel disappointed in myself for other people's actions when it comes to stuff like that. Nah. I'm gonna give you a great example, dog.
Okay.
Think about what I told you in this earlier story. I've been doing this as a company since 2009, and I made a lot of strides, made a great money, great ups and downs, whatever you want to call it. But let's say my peer group of rappers, right?
Mm-hmm.
At my age. Now I could drop an album right now locally, and it's gonna sell out right now. It'll sell out in the region, it'll sell out in the Carolinas, Georgia, parts of California, stuff like that.
Okay.
Who else my age is here relevant that can do that. That's what I mean. And I'm talking about from Rayford. See what I'm saying? See how it is?
Talk your shit.
I mean, I talk to me and Chuck talk about this all the time. And he was back then, so he know what I'm talking about. He was rapping there, he was in a group, and he knows all the rappers. You know what I'm saying? From even if the Fayetteville area, who is it? Where they at? I could drop right now, and it's gonna be received. That goes to show you that they won't succeed, bro.
It's not about who do it first, it's about who do it the best.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest footprints on your life that you can really learn for yourself.
And the crazy part about that saying, bro, is I was the one that did it first and the best.
Talk your shit.
Bro, I'm the first one to sell music out of Rayford is concerned. It's real. That's a fact. You can fact check that. I was selling them out the book stop. And they sold out every day when I released my first album, which was Dark Waters. And I've been selling ever since.
Man.
So you know how it is, man. They wanted to look glamorous like they wanted to look. We not Atlanta. We not Texas. It ain't gonna look like that. Ours gonna look more industrial. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna look a little bit, you know what I mean? Like the average Joe sometimes. It's cool though.
It is.
Yeah.
And I really don't talk about it much, but there is a certain point. You got it. To me, if you're going to succeed in anything that you're doing, there has to be a certain point of arrogance, you know, and it, like there has to be a certain point of realizing, because people always want you to realize your mistakes, but God damn it, why can't I realize where I'm great at?
That's great right. At shit. And like I tell everyone, man, I wake up, I make my bed and piss excellence every morning. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way I take my kids to school in the finest of linens, and we eat good. What more can you ask for? I piss excellence every day.
You know what I mean? Shout out to you. Yeah, I understand, man. Because it's a different type of feel when you like, bro, I know where the fuck I come from. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I know what the fuck I've been doing, and I know how I've been doing it. And I ain't nobody doing it like me, so I damn sure gonna talk my shit in my lane. If this is my lane, why can't I talk shit in my lane?
Right. Because like I'll be looking at it like, you know, the proof is there. It's in the pudding. It's documented. It's notable. It's right there. Like people from our area cannot say anything different. They can have their favorites. I might not be nobody's favorite. Come on. I'm him though.
I'm not. Look, if I was meant to make friends, this would be a community event. Like listen, I understand it, and that's how I be feeling about about Hood Academy itself. Honestly, and because you got to look at a situation, and when people be like, "Oh, I can do that," it's like, go do it. If you can do it better than I'm doing it, do it. But then turn around and ask yourself, if you got to say I can do that, then you got to ask yourself, why ain't you doing it?
Right.
If you can do it, do it. But ask yourself, why ain't you doing it?
Right. They won't do it. They don't have the drive. They don't have that.
You got to be honest with yourself. Why ain't you doing it? Like, why ain't you getting out here, you know, talking to people and meeting people and seeing what people, you know, because it, like you said, you cannot have a business made solely by yourself and it's going to succeed by itself. Mm-mm. There has to be some type of network, some type of life. Because hell, a seed can't grow without soil. You
That's right. I mean?
That soil you can't nurture that seed without water.
Right, you're right.
You know, like so. I truly think a lot of people are trying to live a dream instead of trying to make the vision reality.
Yeah, they're trying to live a dream. They're not trying to create a reality. You're right.
Yeah. Like that's just one of the things that's real weird to me. But I digress.
That's why I always say, believe the dream. The dream is you, and you supposed to be a reality unless you're a simulation. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, but you know what I mean? I think everybody pretty much human unless you know you're an AI robot or something from Tesla.
Shoot, I wouldn't mind Tesla, but hey, it is what it is.
Right.
So. Okay, so let's talk about MODEYO as a company. So with with the standpoints of MODEYO, where do you feel like you guys are the strongest at? Because like we said, let you pop your shit. Where do you feel like?
I mean, to be honest, we haven't. When we launch, I can answer that full question. But me projecting, our strongest point is going to be the radio station and in this area, the radio station and the magazine is going to be the strongest points. You know what I'm saying? And
So
then
without giving us too much, what can you tell us
about MODEYO and what we have? Like I say, we have this huge podcast that we're producing on the MODEYO YouTube channel. Like I said, we got to talk. You know what I mean? That we're producing on the MODEYO YouTube channel that's going to send us up through the roof. And I can't let that go yet, but it's a major player in the game. It's partner. He's actually my partner in Woodboy Films. And we're producing the South of the Border movie, and he's gonna be the star in that. So yeah, we're partnered with him with Woodboy Films, but we're producing his podcast. Once we announce that, and it's gonna be huge. It's big.
I respect it. So,
and we're filming it in Atlanta, so you already know what time it is.
Okay. So let's we're talking about Atlanta. Let's bring this back to Rayford. Not even just Rayford. Rayford is just a generic standpoint for it. Just means something to me and you. But for anybody else, what do you say? What advice would you give a person who's looking to expand or who's looking to start building themselves as a market? What would you say to them? I'm sorry. What would you say to them when they feel as though the hometown don't fuck with them? Because I know you felt it before. I know I felt it before. Where it's like, damn, damn, the city don't fuck with me. Like, am I tripping?
Yeah. I felt it before. I've also felt being the champion of our area too. So I felt both sides. But I will say this: the advice I would give them is don't worry about them because it's just a small town. And my phone's about to die. But hold on. It's a small town, so don't worry about them. The main thing any artist should do is make sure they got their credit up, build their LLC and their business, get funding, and put it on their business. That's all they gotta do.
All right. So before your phone died, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap it up.
Okay. It's about out of here. I'm playing 1-5. It already went dim.
All right. So before we get out of here, I just want you to give like a quick gem drop so we can go ahead and wrap it up.
Okay.
Just any type of advice that you want to give the good looking people who watching the show at the moment. I mean, and who's gonna be watching it, and
like I always say, it takes a mama mentality to mutate on a marathon, and believe the dream. The dream is you, Always make sure you get up in the morning and make your bed. Because if you make your bed, everything for the rest of the day will pretty much go right. But if you wake up and don't make your bed, then you already know you're starting off on the wrong foot. Just make your bed. That's it.
And that's for mine. I'm just going to tell you, if you really want to succeed, you got to understand before in any type of race, and since we talking about a marathon, there's 4 people in there. You need to find out who's your 4 people. You also need to find out the mindset of those 4 people. But most of all, you need to understand that those 4 people are just as human as you.
Right.
So with that being said, this has been the showcase. I'm Tater Bear. Once again, that's the Mutate God in the building. You know what I mean?
Go cop the book.
You know what I mean? Give him a hand clap. We love y'all. And we out. Go get the book. Go get the albums. You know what I mean? Check in with Payola, all that good stuff. Once again, this has been Hood Academy, aka partner with MODEYO ENT, and we are out.